And we are live for episode 22 of Lowering the Barrier. Hello, everybody. If you are on video, the surprise has been surprosen.
Surprosen. That's a good one.
Yes. Matti is back.
Yeah, I'm here.
I am so excited. So the last episode, for those of you who listened to episode 21, Fiber 101, I'm not going to say it was like a train wreck because it wasn't terrible, but podcasts are meant for two or more people.
Yeah.
Just listening to me, I was a college professor. That's giving myself a lot of praise. It was like I was a high school teacher teaching, well, I don't want to like undervalue my audience either and say like teaching freshmen or anything, but it's like
It was like back in the pandemic when your professor would have to record like a Zoom lesson.
Yeah.
So it was just them talking to like an empty room.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what it was. It was me talking to an empty room and there was no room for conversation. It's like, I think I tried to tell one or two jokes and that was super uncomfortable.
It's hard to be funny and casual.
Well, actually, and I mentioned that. I'm looking at the Bo Burnham album I have over here. It's like you try to be funny when nobody's there to laugh.
Yeah,
you know, like he says in that one song. Okay, so yeah, very exciting. So Maddie's back. We're not sure if this is a permanent thing.
Yeah, we're gonna do our best.
We're gonna see how it goes.
We had the foresight to just do this at night.
Yeah, we're doing this at night when Milo, our little guy, is sleeping. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
And so we're doing this in the office, which is very far away from him so that he doesn't hear us. He doesn't, and it's just a little bit easier for us to set this up. Although,
and just so people know, before people start freaking out, because we said that we're far away from him.
Yes.
I get alerts.
Yeah, she has.
On my watch of if he wakes up. He's currently in a snooze.
Not only if he wakes up, but if he like makes a noise.
Yes.
Yeah,
as soon as he makes a noise.
She will get a vibration on her wrist and her phone, probably her laptop
Everything.
too.
Everything's going to buzz.
Her maternal spidey senses will be tingling.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yep.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about managing the holidays. And okay, guys.
I know what you're thinking. A pretty major holiday just passed.
Why aren't you guys talking about it? Why did you post this before Thanksgiving? Okay, we hear you. Like, we understand. Our bad, we planned to, but then,
Then the holiday came.
You try having a newborn. You try having a newborn. You try having a newborn. A lot of our listeners probably have had children.
Yeah.
I'd say, I don't know more than 50%, but like at least 30%.
A good chunk.
And so to you guys, I know you guys are smiling and like, oh, I get it. I get it. All right. Before we get into the episode, let me just do my quick plugs. If you're interested in a group training program that is truly the bee's knees, upper lower split 4 days per week, updated every 6 weeks, check out the A Team. If you're listening to this before December, like 14th ish, like give or take. We had a little issue with the video, but it looks like it's all good. Okay. If you're listening to this before like December 14th ish, give or take, use code TheATeamBF. I'll spell that out for you. TheATeambF. For the dyslexic folks out there, they're just having a conniption. They're like, are you shitting me?
Yeah.
But anyways, use that code for a discount of 50% off 1 month or 25% off an entire year. If you're interested in training and nutrition, check out Forward Forever. The next cycle registration opens we begin 12/8, right?
Yeah.
We begin,
Is it
yes.
the 8th or the 9th?
We begin on the 9th. Registration closes on the night of the 8th.
Yes.
Yeah, so you got to be in there before then. So it's the last time to join for this year, and we'd love to have you. It's a great program. And it has the training program, it has the nutrition, has a bunch of stuff from Danielle, the dietitian, and myself.
And And this cycle, the deep dive or, some
The
content,
theme.
will be on like goal setting right ahead of
New
Year's resolutions.
New Year's resolutions. Perfect timing. Yeah. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, the Change Project is alive and thriving. Finally. Shout out to Maddie for helping me out with that over the last year. It's been awesome. And the clients that are running through it right now are just having some insane success. We got one guy who's down like 14 pounds in 5 weeks.
Crazy.
I mean, that's not normal. Let me just like set expectations. Yeah. That's not normal. But I am proud of him. He's proud of himself. And we just got a lot of people that are really making a shout out Laura. She's just crushing it. I was like, hey, we could go faster with fat loss if you want. She's like, what do I got to do? And like I said, okay, here's what we would have to do. And she was already losing weight at like a pound a week. And she's like, what do I got to do? I told her what we had to do. And immediately it's like, no problem. Started doing it. So very cool. Anyway, not to go on about them too much. If you want to hear more from Maddie and myself, follow us on Instagram. I don't know.
Again,
follow me, but
back to the whole newborn thing.
Right. Yeah. Meals with Maddie was her account. And I've been trying to say like, hey, maybe like pick her back up. You can even like post baby stuff, but
it's hard to record a meal
right
when you're cooking.
Also like juggling a child.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. We'll get back to it maybe eventually.
Final plugs. Please give us a 5-star rating. We really appreciate it. And if you want, screenshot and share this on your Instagram story and tag one or both of us. If you're only going to tag one of us, make it me, please.
Yeah, it'd be crazy to just tag me.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I would appreciate it. But
love Maddie's podcast at Meals with Maddie. I'd be like, what? Okay.
I would never stop bringing that up.
No, that'd be no. What are we watching lately?
Taskmaster.
And we just finished Arcane on Netflix. Even if you are not a League of Legends fan, which is a video game, Arcane is absolutely awesome. Even if you're not an anime fan, even if you're not, it's just that was a phenomenal show. They spent $250 million on it.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
That's a lot of money
for 2 seasons.
It's a lot of money.
But phenomenal show. I mean, one of the best shows I've ever seen, probably. And then, we're watching Taskmaster, which is a really good watch. They have like all of Taskmaster on YouTube, so you just watch it for free. You just watch it for free if anybody's interested. It's like a silly little game show kind of. They have 5 comedians.
Yeah.
I'd recommend that either the UK or the New Zealand version. Mm-hmm. We tried watching the Australian version. I don't know. I just couldn't. Me personally, I couldn't vibe with it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
All right. You ready to actually get into the episode now? We're like 8 minutes in.
I would love to.
Okay. Look, a lot of you who follow me, not all, but probably the majority, maybe 50%, are trying to lose weight. You want to lose some body fat. You want to get a little toned. You want to lean out, whatever we want to call it. You want to lose weight. You want to lose body fat. And holidays are a really shitty time for that. Like, they're just like not conducive toward weight loss. Because what's one thing that happens when we gather with friends and family?
It's very food oriented.
We eat.
Yes.
Not me, because I have food allergies. So that's the one hack that personal trainers and nutritionists don't want you to know. Simply have food allergies and have unbelievable degrees of anxiety around food that was made by others.
Yeah.
But seriously, holidays can be a really stressful time for people who are looking to manage their weight. Not just from like, the physiological perspective of, I'm eating more calories, but also the psychological perspective. And this is what I see most often that really harms people's progress is the psychological perspective of like, I've failed. They see, they know they overate, or they see the scale go up, and it's just like, wow, I suck. I'm a failure. And that's a tough spot to be. So before we get into like some of the more practical stuff, I just want to, and maybe this is super practical. Let's zoom out. Let's say starting the week of Thanksgiving, we've got about 35 days left in the year. Now, by the time this is posted, we will have basically exactly 30 days left in the year. We got December because this is going to be posted. I don't know if I'm going to get up to it tonight. It's like 8:45 p.m. right now.
This might be
a morning upload. Anyway, you've got 30 days left in the year. Let's, depending on the holidays you celebrate, we're looking at a few days. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Thanksgiving has already passed us, so
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, sure. Yeah, New Year's Eve. So I mean, let's say we celebrate New Year's Eve, we celebrate Christmas, because that's what I celebrate.
Sure.
So let's talk about those. For my Hanukkah and Kwanzaa enjoyers, just like play along, just pretend along and plug and play the numbers. Let's say we celebrate each day twice. Maybe this is the case with in-laws, or maybe this isn't the case of a divorce. You get a holiday with your dad's side and a holiday with your mom's side. Either way, let's say we celebrate each day twice. We're looking at like 4 days out of 30-ish days. That's 13%.
Mm-hmm.
The other 87% of days are still within your control. I mean, let's say you're traveling and that adds a few more days outside of your environment. We're still probably looking at 70% of normal days.
Right.
In what world would we not be able to make progress with 70% normality, effort? It's not even like those 30% is so scuffed, that it's like beyond the average degree of abnormality. It's not, just try not to worry about it,
Yeah. I mean, for argument, like you'd have to go crazy.
You'd have to go wild.
You'd have to go hard.
You'd have to
on those couple days.
For 4 days to actually mess up 30 days. Oh my God. Okay, let's say you're in a 500 calorie deficit on 26 out of 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, what is that? 13,000 calorie deficit? Yeah.
Yeah.
A 13,000 calorie deficit. Can you imagine eating in a 13,000 calorie surplus across 4 days?
And that's like really simplifying things.
Yeah. Oh, that's way simplifying things.
Yeah.
But like, let's just say maintenance is 2,000 calories.
So that's a lot of extra.
13,000 divided by 4 is what? 3,250. So you have to be eating 5,250 calories every one of those 4 days to wipe out the deficit that you worked hard for.
Yeah.
I think the most I've ever eaten in one day. Well, you remember that day.
I do.
5.7 thousand calories.
And that was an uncomfortable amount of food for you.
The other day I was telling somebody about it, and they were asking, like, was it hard to sleep that night? I said I had to sit upright, and this is so gross.
It's disgusting. So gross.
It's disgusting. But I had to sit upright, and even still, it's like gonna make me sick talking about it. Even still, stomach bile and all that was coming up my throat.
Horrible.
Like it was just like it had nowhere to go. Now let me like set the context for that real quick. The thing is I was at my leanest and I was like bodybuilding stage lean. I was disgustingly shredded, and it was for a purpose, but and I just decided to pull trigger that day. I was like, I'm done. And I knew that I needed to, first off, I was like, all bets are off. For the next like 2 weeks, I'm going to eat literally whatever I want.
Right.
I ate 5.7 thousand calories and I was still hungry. It was insane. Like my stomach was so distended. Anyway, people didn't come here to listen to me like garble about how much food I ate one day. Let's talk about nutrition planning. Okay, first, for nutrition planning on the holidays, let's look at the next 30 days. Are you looking at fat loss or are you looking at maintenance? Because if you're in a bulk, just shut up. You have no problem. If you're in if you're in a bulk, you don't need to worry about like nutrition planning during the holidays. Like if you do, I don't know, man. Like it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. And by the way, I will be making a bulking episode soon. I was looking through like the episodes that I've done and I realized I haven't done like a real true bulking 101 episode. So I'd like to do that. Okay. So are you in calorie maintenance? Are you pursuing fat loss? Now I'm personally pursuing fat loss right now. Mm-hmm. A little crazy, based on time of year, but again, food allergies and I just don't really give a shit. And like I said, I got 87% of days, and my parents aren't divorced. And your parents are going out of town for Christmas. They don't want to celebrate Christmas with us.
No,
allegedly.
crazy.
Okay, so if you're pursuing fat loss, maybe consider calorie cycling. If you're unfamiliar with calorie cycling, it's where you look at your calorie budget across a week. So let's say you're shooting for 2,000 calories, for example. 2,000 calories times 7 days, 14,000 calories. Reduce 200 calories. Don't even worry about the 14,000 thing. Forget I said that. I mean, it's still helpful to look at it on a weekly basis, but now as I'm going through the math, it's like, okay, that's actually redundant. But pull down the calories on days you eat that are more like normal, or that you don't need as many calories. Pull that down by 100, 200. Maybe you're at 1,900, 1,800. These are just artificial numbers, just for the sake of argument or example. And then allocate those to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever day you need
the holidays in this instance.
Yeah, sure, the holidays, whatever days you need them. What did I write here? I'm looking through my notes, and I'm like, why did I say this?
Which part?
Oh, okay. I made an example of the weekly target. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. According to Consumer Reports, which I'm going to be honest, not a credible source.
Yeah, I mean,
but for this,
what consumers are reporting on? Like, I don't know where this comes from.
Consumer Reports puts out bullshit about organic foods. Let me just put that on the record. They put out absolute shit. So no, I don't trust them. However, because this doesn't really matter, I'm just going to use it.
Sure.
We eat around 3,000 to 4,500 calories on Thanksgiving, according to Consumer Reports article. I don't know. Maybe it's accurate, maybe it's not. It seems believable to me. And I don't think this is I don't think anybody's going to stitch this podcast and be like, wow, another nutritionist just spewing misinformation on his podcast. Another bro on his, it's like, you guys, God. Anyway, let's say we're aiming for 1,700 calories as our deficit target.
Sure.
And we hit that every day except Thanksgiving, we eat over double our calorie target. And we split that Consumer Reports article right down the middle, 3,750 calories. Mm-hmm. Even then, our averages for the intake for the week is going to be 1,993. You're probably still in a deficit.
Right.
Unless you're in a really small deficit, you're probably still in a deficit. And that's if you doubled your calorie target on one day. Now, please don't do this every week, because it's just going to slow down your fat loss. I mean, I guess if you wanted to, whatever. Maybe could lead to some binge tendencies if this was your long-term strategy.
Sure.
But if you're just doing this for a short-term period, I think this is totally fine.
Yeah.
So anyways, the thing here, in terms of nutrition planning, try to look at weekly calorie averages, try to look at weekly weight averages, prioritize protein, prioritize fiber, prioritize 0-calorie beverages, not just water, but water's totally fine, but also a diet soda.
Yeah.
A little bubbly water thing. People love those
sparkling
things.
Water.
What's the difference?
I was just giving you that name. That's what they're called. It's a sparkling water.
Well, look how fancy you are. I guess my Neanderthal brain is a little too slow for you. I call it bubbly water. I'm just...
Bubbly is a brand.
Okay, well, that's what I meant then. Please sponsor me, Bubbly. Oh
no.
Oh, did you guys hear that? I just smashed my elbow. It's not bad. We'll continue on somehow. Okay. Do you want to talk about this next part?
The mindset shift? Or the environment stuff?
The next part, which is mindset shift. Actually, to handle both.
Okay. I feel like I have a lot less to say about the mindset shift stuff. That's why I was asking.
Okay, I'll just take it over then.
I mean, I can help out, but...
Sure. Okay. Mindset shift. Look, I know talking about mindset and stuff is maybe it's a little woo-woo. Maybe it's a little bit I don't know. It's not a hard science. It's flimsy.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it soft, because I'm not going David Goggins on you. It's just
right.
It's a little more fluid than being this is the research on protein targets as it relates to hypertrophy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is going to be a lot more person dependent.
Yeah. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. But I think generally speaking, avoiding all or nothing, that's a pretty good mindset shift to have.
Right.
So one exercise that I actually like to do, coaches, if there are coaches listening to this, I know there are, write this down. You're going to want this one. This one works very well for my clients. And if you're like not a coach, I don't know, just like listen up, continue doing what you're doing. I hope if you're driving right now, just like also just drive safe. Don't take notes on this. Just drive safe. Just focus on the road. I know I just snapped somebody back into it. They were like zoned out. They were on a long ride and I just brought them back into like coherence. Okay. Avoiding all or nothing. So here's the exercise that I like to do with this. I don't love framing choices as good or bad, but I do like using the language that others use. And so in this example, I'm going to use the language of good or bad in terms of dietary choices and how it relates to your goals, which I think we can dichotomize in that way of good or bad in terms of moving further or closer toward your goals. So if I was if I was looking for fat loss, and that was what I was currently working toward, I would, or, a client was, okay, let's say you, okay. Let's do you.
Yeah.
Let's do you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun.
Okay. What's your name?
Maddie.
No. Like, what's like, Sharon Betts.
Okay.
I saw Betts over here, and so it's like on a book. So Sharon Betts. You're okay. Sharon Betts. How old are you? You're 45.
Okay.
And like, you never had an issue with your weight.
Okay.
And but kind of like perimenopausal, like you've like missed a few periods, but you're definitely not pregnant.
Okay.
And like things are just kind of getting a little harder for you now.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I'm following.
You're like sleep's a little bit weirder.
Yeah.
And like you're just like storing more belly fat, and like you're just like, yeah, okay. Have you like absorbed this persona?
Yes. Yeah. The scene has been set.
Excellent. And I'm me.
Okay.
Hi, Sharon.
Hello.
How are you doing? Can you imagine if that's how I started an actual, I'm sorry to like break scene really quick, but like, can you imagine if that's like how I spoke with people?
That's basically every time I've ever had to hold small talk with someone. That's the reason I'm not a coach, is that's exactly how I sound when I'm speaking to another human being.
No, it's not.
Actually
no, it
painful.
Is not.
No, today at the cash register
oh, no, that was bad. That was tough. I thought
painful.
About stepping in, but I was like, she needs this. She needs this. No, I really was like, she needs this practice.
As we were walking out of the store, I was like, that was actually
horrible. My God.
It would have been less awkward if I had kept my mouth shut the whole time.
Yeah, and she just spoke to you.
Yeah.
No, I was like,
I don't know why. I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
I'm not good at it.
No, well, it's a skill that gets developed, and I think this podcast could be a way to develop that. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. Anyway. All right, Sharon. So what I'm reading from your form is that you're really struggling with losing body fat. It's just been harder than ever before, and that you're really worried about dinner. So can you tell me about one of these dinners that you go on? Like, who do you go out with? Where do you like to go? What's your go-to meal?
Yep. So me and my husband, we like to do date nights every once in a while. We'll go to a fancy restaurant and we'll splurge. We'll do, I'll get whatever I feel like. Sometimes that's a steak dinner, get some mashed potatoes. I have a couple drinks. We have a little night out.
And how do you feel like this works for you in terms of your fat loss goals? Do you think that this is one of the things that's hindering you, or do you think that, I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't just straight out ask that, but I'm trying to get to the point here so that we don't have a 30-minute conversation with Sharon Betts.
Yeah. I would say this hinders my goals.
Great. Yeah. Usually it takes like 10 minutes to get there, right? Because it's like I'm working with a real person, Right. I don't want to just be like, there's your problem. There's your problem. You're eating a 4,000 calorie dinner every Saturday night.
Yeah.
But okay, we'll keep going. Okay. Sharon, okay. So I know that you really enjoy these dinners with your husband. And so I don't want to get rid of them because they mean a lot to you and they mean a lot to your husband. And so I would be like the boogeyman if I just told you that you had to get rid of them. And I don't want to be the boogeyman. I want to be the good guy. I'm on your side. So what what would you say in terms of your fat loss goals? What would you say would be the absolute worst decision you could make when it comes to dinner? Let's go ahead and work through that. Tell me about what would you eat? What would you order? What would you drink?
Yeah. Yep. So we'd definitely be alcohol. We definitely have a couple drinks, maybe 2 to 3 drinks during dinner. Like a pasta dish, like an Alfredo. That would probably be pretty.
Yeah, heavy on the cream.
Yep. Appetizer.
Mm-hmm.
We'd get dessert after.
Oh yeah.
Chocolate, one of those little chocolate lava cakes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you're not splitting it with the husband, are you?
No. We're getting our own. He might get a cheesecake and I might steal a bite.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to.
So.
Okay. And then what would be like the best? Like if you, and maybe this isn't the most fun, but what would be like the best in terms of fat loss results?
Maybe definitely a water to drink. Maybe a diet soda.
Sure. Yeah.
A chicken salad.
Okay.
Dressing on the side so I can control how much is on there.
Right.
No appetizer. No dessert.
Yeah. And you're not having as much fun here, are you?
No.
Okay. And so what would maybe a middle ground of those two options look like?
Maybe a grilled fish.
Okay.
A broccoli side salad. Maybe there's still an appetizer, but maybe we skip dessert.
Yeah, maybe you go either appetizer or dessert, not both.
Yeah.
And maybe even throw in, one glass of wine or one cocktail instead of the 2 or 3 that you normally do. Okay, and scene.
Did we sell it?
I don't know if I hope that I can see the analytics and like people checked out at 24 minutes or whatever. Like people are like at this time, they're like, don't let Matti back on. We liked episode 21 more. Okay, so for both coaches and non-coaches, what you do there to help people work through when people say they're an all or nothing person, like it's absolutely not true. Like it's just like that is them. There's a little bit of tough love here. It is them making an excuse for the actions that they've chosen. It is a self-limiting belief. It is them allowing themselves to get away with. However, a little bit of empathy time though too. People put a lot of pressure on themselves. And they think if they have the smallest deviation from perfection, that is nothing. And that couldn't be further from the truth. And so, as coaches, it's our job to balance that tough love and honesty, but with the empathy, And so you ask questions and help people come to their own conclusions because that's a little bit softer than just telling them like, this is the way that it is, even if you already know the answer. So what I would do is you walk through that exercise, you come up with the best option, you come up with the worst option, you see it as a spectrum, you find this middle ground. And then if you want to go one step further, and I would recommend this, do one step toward best from the middle and one step toward worst from the middle as well. So now you have 5 different options. And so when people go into a restaurant, they now have this kind of a pun here, but this menu of options to choose from, and they can see it as a spectrum without feeling like they've totally failed themselves. Like, because how many people are actually going to go with the worst option? Like fucking 0.
Right.
Like not many people are actually going to go with that. And so they feel like they've at least not completely failed themselves if they, pick a better, like slightly better option. Again, I don't love dichotomizing stuff like that, but I'm just using it. I don't know. You guys understand. Now, along with that, I kind of said like people need to have a little bit more. Well, I do think that people need to have more empathy for themselves. I think people are way too hard on themselves. And so understand that success during the holidays is different than success during non-holidays, during the normal time, because during the holidays, maybe you have to travel to go see family. Maybe you got a car full of kids. Maybe you got to go get, the gas station sushi, God forbid. Maybe you just have to make these different decisions than you normally would, because like that's the hand you were dealt. And so, a phrase that I like is if you only had 40% to give, but you gave 40%, you gave 100% of your capacity. You did the absolute best that you could. And so that's how I would encourage you to see the holidays. That's okay. What a great section on mindset shift. That was phenomenal.
That was great.
Thanks for playing along with me.
I have one other thing to kind of throw in there is like we put a lot of emphasis on the holidays, specifically the winter season, the winter holidays. But like a holiday's always creeping up. There's always going to be something, you know? So
Yeah.
we put all this pressure on like, oh, things are going to be completely derailed during the holidays. But like, I just feel like you shouldn't necessarily view it that way, because what happens if you go on vacation,
Right.
or what happens when Valentine's Day pops up, or the 4th of July, or, you know, if you're not
A
in
friend's
America.
birthday, a
Right.
wedding. Yeah.
So I also think that we should kind of like stop viewing it as this entire season.
Yeah. It's just like a few days.
It's a few days.
Yeah. Do you want to handle this next one? Environment?
Yeah.
Cool.
So one thing that kind of throws people off during the holidays is you're now in a new environment a lot of times. Maybe not the entire time, but especially if you are traveling or if you are not the person hosting your holiday dinners, anything like that. You're kind of in this new environment. Either you might be staying at a hotel, you might be staying at your parents, in-laws, family, wherever. New environments are going to disrupt the habits and routines that you've already established. When you are at home, you're kind of in your home base. You have already crafted this entire arena or area that aligns with everything you are working toward. So you kind of have to consider, how can I adapt the routines and habits that I'm currently working on to match the environment I'm going into? For instance, if you are really, really focusing on your fiber and your protein for breakfast, like that is one of your daily habits. It's something that you have really solidified throughout the year, is you eat a very specific breakfast. Maybe you have oatmeal and a side of berries and I don't know, whatever
Chia
else.
seeds.
Chia seeds. Yes, you have a very specific breakfast. You have the ingredients. It's on your shopping list every single week. You don't miss it. If you are traveling for the holidays and you're staying at your parents' house, your parents' house is not going to be set up for that routine. How can you establish control over that in a new environment? In this example, it's probably going to the grocery store. You go to the grocery store, you pick up the things that you need and keep them at your parents' house while you're there. Then you can continue on with that habit and routine that you've already established. Some things are going to be a little bit harder. You know, if you are someone who works out at home and you wake up early in the morning, you have your gym clothes set out and you go out to your home gym and you work out every morning, and that's like a habit and routine that you've, you know, created for yourself. If you are now traveling for the holidays, it's going to be a little bit harder to do. You don't have that home gym. You're not going to be bringing dumbbells with you, you know, when you're traveling, most likely. But what's something that you can do? Maybe you can find a gym that has a drop-in fee and you bring your workout clothes and you still set those workout clothes out in the morning. So when you wake up, you have that reminder and you can go to the gym. Not saying you have to go to the gym over the holidays. That's not my point here. Just how can you change the routines and habits that you have set at home to match your new environment?
Yeah. No, that's solid. I've literally nothing to add.
Wow. I can continue on then.
Yeah, let's do it.
A little bit more.
What if you're eating away from home?
Great question. Great question. Couple ideas. Can you bring a side dish? You know, one thing that I kind of think is like when people are eating away from home, when they're at a restaurant or they're eating, you know, fast food if they're traveling, whatever. A lot of it is this like you no longer have control over the food you're eating. You don't know how many calories are in it. You don't know who made it, what's in it. You don't know how to track it. So there's this lack of understanding and control. So how can you maintain some of that in your meal? If you bring a food, you know what you made, you know how it aligns with your goals. You can say, oh, I know that this is a high fiber source, or I know how many calories roughly. I know what went into this. I know there's protein in this. So I have control over this one portion of my meal. I think that's a great option.
Yeah.
You can't always do that. You know, if you are at a hotel, you don't have access to a kitchen, maybe that's not, you know, going to happen. Can you eat a filling and nutrient dense meal ahead of time?
Yeah, breakfast or lunch.
Breakfast or lunch.
Or somebody I was talking to the other day on a consult call. Oh, by the way, I'm doing paid consult calls now if anybody wants to hop on one. The only way you can book it is through my link in bio on my Instagram. Anyway, I was on a console call. Somebody was talking to me about like when she does these like, family gatherings, she feels like she just loses all control. And I was like, okay, well, let's walk through a day. She fasts. She doesn't eat anything leading up. And so I was like, you're going to this thing where it's a bunch of calorie dense foods and foods that, you love. Like,
right. They're delicious.
Everybody's bringing their A game to like the family function. Right. Nobody's bringing like, yeah, I brought steamed broccoli. It's like, no, because everybody wants, you know how good I felt when I made that cheesecake and I asked my nephew, what would you give it? 1 to 10? 100. It's like, holy shit, 100 out of 10. I just blew his mind. That was probably the best thing he's ever eaten. And I asked my niece and she says, oh, sorry about that. Sorry guys. I asked my niece, she has 8, maybe 9. Okay. Brought back down to earth, crashing down to earth. But we want to bring those things that are 100 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Maybe even an 8 or 9 out of 10. Maybe that'll suffice for the pickier eaters of the family. And so it's like, yeah, I think doing this, eating a normal breakfast, a normal lunch is probably a really good idea. Yes. And are you going to overeat when you go out to, the Thanksgiving dinner, the Christmas dinner, the buffet? Probably.
Right.
But you're probably not going to go like nuts because you've been starving yourself all day. And maybe you do overeat. Absolutely. But you probably won't overeat to the point of feeling sick because you were lethargic coming in.
Right.
We also do this like when we are traveling, we just go to the grocery store, in the first place. And for the people on who are watching on video, I'm sorry for all the little stupid little thumbs up and stuff. Like the thumbs up that you get, you can do a thumbs up and then like Apple is like, it does a little bubble. I don't know how to turn that off. And it's like,
I don't know either. Does it show up on?
I'll be having serious conversations with somebody on a console call and I'll like be doing a thumbs up, for like right. Pumping up something. Increase, sure. And it'll start doing a thumbs up. It's like, I'm so sorry about that. It just makes me look so, I know nobody cares, right? But
yeah, I'm sure you could turn that feature off.
There's like I did turn it off. It doesn't matter. I thought I did turn it off at one point, whatever. So, yeah, just to like kind of pick up where you left off, fasting all day in preparation for a big meal is probably doing you more harm than good.
Yeah, but it's so common. It really is so common. It's
so way too common.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wrap it up with just try to think like, I don't know, have this acknowledgement of what are you in control of when it comes to your routines and habits? Can you have your normal breakfast? If not, can you have something high protein? If not, can you have an oatmeal? If not, can you go get a protein shake? If not, can you eat 2 eggs instead of 3? Eggs aren't a problem, really. Like, I don't know. But like instead of...
How can you adapt what you've been doing at home to where you're going to be? And that takes a little bit of planning or at least a little bit of foresight.
And sometimes it just takes like just understanding like dietary choices. This has more protein. This has more fiber, maybe have a handful of fruit, something like that. Maybe have an extra glass of water, something to make sure you're hydrated and not, trying to get all your hydration from the ice cubes in your gin and tonic. Speaking of which, let's move into the alcohol section.
Yay.
Sorry guys. Sorry to be buzzkill, but alcohol sucks. It's like really bad for you.
Yeah.
It's like really, really bad for you.
Yeah.
I don't think we have not done an alcohol episode, but that is up on my radar. I will do that eventually. It just takes a lot of planning because a lot of people have some strong feelings and emotions about alcohol. So I need to come with the facts.
Yeah.
I need to come with...
People feel very like attacked
about
alcohol.
I didn't tell you this, but I was going through the grocery store today. Well, we both were, obviously. And we were in the fucking deli aisle. We were walking through like the meat aisles. And there's like Crown Royale.
Yeah.
Just like sitting
it gets really bad during the holidays too. Because all of the alcohol companies come out with their like gift sets and all of that. Their Christmas limited
just like,
edition.
Man, for somebody who's like if somebody out there, well, there are people out there who are like trying to avoid alcohol actively and it's just being spammed in their faces. There's commercials about it. It's like, dang, dude. Like we don't parade, heroin addicts through Walmart, and it's like, you want a little crack? Like we
Right.
don't do that,
Yeah.
And so it's just, I don't know. Anyway, sorry to be a buzzkill, everybody, but every drink has roughly 100 to 200 calories. Most people could down 2 to 5 drinks, maybe more.
Mhm.
We're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 to 1,000 plus calories just from alcohol.
And depending on the drink, 200 calories is probably
That could be
still
low.
on the low
That
end.
could be on the low end.
Especially some of your mocktail, or not mocktails, but your cocktails, your mixed drinks. Like, I mean, it can add up quick.
Yeah, and ruins your sleep quality, harms muscle protein synthesis. So, drinking in excess lowers your testosterone. So, men out there, if you drink excessively, and you care about your testosterone, or for any, if you have a husband who cares about that stuff, and you want him to start changing his behaviors, just be like, I've noticed you've gotten more feminine. Just say that. Just mention that. Just say that. I think your face
At
just
no
lit
point
up.
did I know where you were going with that. That is not the route I thought you were going to take at all.
Your face, like it was like a deer in headlights when I said that. Should I not have said that? Should I click? Should I take that out? I don't think that was that bad.
Oh,
I don't know. Like, don't actually say that to your husband, of course, unless like maybe not even unless, just maybe don't say that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
it just took me by surprise.
Okay. Maybe make a mocktail. Have a fun drink that is either A, low calorie, B, non-alcoholic, or ideally C, both. All the above.
Yeah.
And if you are going to drink and it's not in the morning, I don't know.
What a crazy caveat. No, but that is like people.
Some people drink in the morning.
Yeah, especially around the holidays.
And if you're in the airport, there is no time. I don't even drink anymore, but like I'm aware of that.
Right.
But if you're going to drink and it's not in the morning, try to do non-caffeinated mixers. So like not Red Bull, not Coke, even Diet Coke, has caffeine. Sprite does not have caffeine. So maybe just look up one of the, like your go-to mixer, look up if it has caffeine. There you go. Water does not have caffeine. So, Yeah. I think some people like doing whiskey and water or something like that, which I think.
I don't know if you're being serious or not.
I'm being dead serious. My brother.
That's crazy.
Built different, man.
That's crazy.
Built different. A lot of people worry about exercise during the holidays, and I want you to know it's not a big deal, dude. You're not going to lose any muscle.
Yeah.
Like, how long is your holiday? If your holiday's 3 weeks long, you're probably still not going to lose any appreciable amount of muscle. And so seriously, like, don't worry about it. If you're going on vacation, like if you really, really, really want to, if you love exercise, do your thing. Absolutely. Right. But if it's like, oh no, I'm so worried about losing all of my hard-earned gains. First off, if you did lose any and you were like off for a month, 2 months, 3 months, it's going to come back way faster, which is really cool. But second, you're probably not going to lose it. So, because it's like you're worried about not working out on Christmas.
Yeah, the other thing is just like scheduling. Like if you have a really busy couple days, don't feel this weird, like this insane pressure to make it to the gym.
Yeah.
Like you can just alleviate that stress off of your already heightened stress time.
Right.
So,
and if you have less time to work out, maybe consider doing full body workouts. Just do, like, this isn't an exhaustive list or anything, but if you did a push, a pull, a squat, and a hinge, you're pretty good. So like a push, like a dumbbell bench press, a dumbbell, anterior delt press, overhead press, it's kind of same thing. A horizontal or vertical push, a horizontal or vertical pull. It's like a dumbbell row or a lat pull down or something like that. Squat, you guys know what that is. And a hinge, like a Romanian deadlift or stiff leg deadlift. You've got pretty much your bases covered in terms of like major compound movements. Now, there's gonna be somebody out there who's like, what about, he didn't even mention the middle delts? What about the calves? He's not even gonna work his calves. That's why he has small calves. And that would hurt me. And that comment would hurt if you said that, because I've been working on them. And I've been working really hard on my calves. Not as hard as I should be. I do 3 upper body days and 1 lower body day per week. And I don't even like stick to a schedule. Sometimes I'll work out 3 days in a row and then I'll take like the next 2 off. I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
Some people get a little too worked up about, I need to get 4 workouts in this week and then 4 workouts in next week. It's like,
What's so crazy is your body does not know when those 7, like,
your body doesn't know it's Tuesday. Physiologically speaking, tell me one cell that understands, and don't be like, neurons, you nerd.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy and say time is a construct, but like days of the week those are made up. Those are made up.
Yeah.
365 days. I understand that time it takes, for it to get around the sun, 24 hours. Sure. Sun cycle, Earth rotation. But Wednesday's made up. We're really getting off.
Yeah. One thing kind of relating to exercise is really just movement based overall that we don't have on here. Sometimes people kind of worry about movement. They're not moving as much. They're kind of stuck in the house, especially if your holiday season is in the winter and you live in like a really cold climate. You're probably not going for walks. Hopefully the dogs didn't hear that.
We can't say WAOK in this household or else our dogs start losing it.
Yeah, they get really jazzed. But yeah, so maybe your steps are down, that sort of thing. Some of the advice we've given or like recommendations we've given in the past are to just kind of make an activity out of it. If you're feeling a little cooped up, maybe you and your family or your friends or loved ones, snowball fight. Yeah.
Make a
ice
snowman.
skating.
Make a snowman.
Make a snowman.
Jumping jack contest. The family jumping jack contest.
There you go. Or you could try out a winter sport. Skiing, snowboarding. Those are kind of intense to just like go try out.
Say, Grandma, I bet I can deadlift more than you.
There you go.
Grandma,
that's
deadlift contest right now.
That's an idea.
And she'll say, Grandma Boris will say, how do I deadlift? And you say, okay, grab this bar, and then as you stand up and twist as hard as you can.
Now there's an idea. Snowshoeing. That's an activity.
Yeah.
One time I told Alex that we should go snowshoeing, and you shot that down so fast. You're like, that doesn't sound enjoyable at all.
It's like the worst part of skiing and snowboarding is like getting up to the top of the hill, and you're like, no, that's what we're gonna do. That sounds horrible. I told Maddie that I wanted these to be a little bit more relaxed and just like a little more conversational, and I wonder if we've gone too far on that spectrum.
Yeah. I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out. If I get messages that are like, okay, if I don't get messages, I know we went too far. if I do get messages and that are like obviously positive, because I don't think very few people are mean enough to me that are like, and if they are, like, I'm gonna be honest, guys, if you're like really mean to me, you're probably getting blocked.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't imagine anyone's gonna be like outright mean.
Not anybody who listens to the podcast. Like my podcast listeners are true fans. Like, yeah. It's like the randoms on Instagram, and not even my Instagram followers. My Instagram followers are all awesome.
Yeah. It's like when something gets pushed to like.
It's like when something has a few million views and then it's like, this skinny. I've been called skinny. I've been called dad bod. And those don't really hurt me too bad. It's like, I don't know. Sometimes people say weird. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, we're trying to be a little more relaxed. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. If you do, like,
let us know.
Maybe just shoot me a message and be like, good episode. Yeah. Loved the more chill demeanor, more fun. It was fun. I liked it. If you guys say any one of those things, if you don't say those things, I'm just going to be like, they were just too shy to message me. But they,
yeah.
Okay. Post-holiday, the day after, you weighed yourself, the scale went up, and you're like, wow, I suck at fat loss. I'm never doing this again. I am horrible. I'm terrible. And I'm the worst human being ever on the planet Earth. And I guess I'll be fat forever. Don't feel like that. because first off, that scale fluctuation, the scale's going to be up, you know? You're going to have more stomach content. You're going to have more food in you, obviously. You're going to have more water. You're going to have more glycogen. And so please don't feel like, and I don't like this phrase, but don't feel like, I'm going to use the phrase that other people use, like that I've fallen off the wagon. I just don't love that phrase because like that assumes that these holidays that happen on the same day every year, that every single holiday you've fallen off the wagon. No, dude, you're just, I don't want to be like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo after like eating a sandwich or whatever. But that's just the wagon of life.
Yeah. Also, saying you fell off the wagon, that means that you're like, that like the wagon is still going and you can't like, you're just done.
You're
like
the wagon. You're the wagon.
Yeah.
What do you mean falling off the wagon?
The wagon can slow down.
Sure.
And the wagon can speed up. But to say you've fallen off, that means that you and the wagon are disconnected and the wagon's just going and you're just no longer.
That's silly.
Doesn't.
No. Yeah, I agree. So just get back to your routines. Get back to your habits. Okay. Do you want to do this next part or?
I feel like we already did one.
Yeah.
If that's what.
Okay, guys. So here's the thing. So we were thinking about doing like okay. So let's say you had like a cousin Jody who was like, I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast and he said seed oils are bad. So we were thinking about doing like some kind of holiday scenario role play situation, kind of like we did earlier in the episode with the All or Nothing thing. That was unscripted.
Yeah.
That one I was like, you know what, let's just naturally throw this in to dip our toes in the water. So we came up with 2 of these scenarios and like we were talking about this for days prior to recording. Like, is this going to be it or is it not going to be cool? And I'm almost leaning toward like, and we did tell each other we don't edit these much. No. I mean, as maybe you can tell, listener. But we were like, okay, if it's really bad, we'll just edit it out. We'll just cut it out. We'll just cut out the whole section. I don't know. Maybe we just leave it. Maybe we get feedback from this one.
Yeah.
And maybe somebody's like, wow, loved when you role played the All or Nothing exercise. Yeah, Sharon Betts. Loved the character Sharon Betts. Please bring back Sharon Betts. That's what you should DM me. More Sharon Betts, please. I hope one listener is having as much fun as we are. Yeah, God, this is so much better than the last episode.
I have a lot of fun with the podcast. I hope people know that I didn't want to stop doing the podcast. It just was logistically a nightmare.
It was tough. It was really, really tough. Yeah. How about we just wrap it up there?
I think so. Let's play it safe.
Let's play it safe. Yeah, let's play it safe. Okay, cool. You know, I have a lot of stuff. If you want to support me, like you don't have to. Because like just listening, just guys, like I don't want to ask for money. It's weird.
Yeah.
But just like if you're like, if you want a good workout program, the A-Team and Forward Forever, it's the same workout program. Forward Forever just gets it a week earlier. Same 6-week cycle. Forward Forever has the support of Danielle and I. It is a really good program. Mm-hmm. And we have new membership options. So you still have to pay the $250 to get in. Secret, if you are, should I tell them the secret about getting $50 off? No, I have to.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, if you're on the email list and you do a pre-sale and you sign up through the pre-sale, then you get $50 off. So that's, I don't even feel like that should be a secret. That should just be like, okay, there you go. So anyway, yeah, both of those. But then after that, it's like $35 a month at the most expensive. Now we have new membership options. You can get all the way down to $25 a month. Anyway, it's a really, really good program, and I hope you check it out. And if you have any questions, feel free to DM me. And if you want to work one-on-one with me, I'm taking on probably like one more client in December. I'm being called in for jury duty this upcoming week, and so I'm not.
That's what we should have talked about.
Is it illegal for me to talk about like case details?
I think so.
Damn.
I think you can't talk about it until after it's passed, maybe. I don't even know if you can talk about it after.
Okay, well, I'll figure that out. And like, I'll ask one of the lawyers, like, can I talk about this case? That's how I'll get out of jury duty. Jury selection on Monday. I'll say, I'll say,
go in with your phone,
yes,
like vlogging it.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, everybody, I'm here for jury selection. So stoked.
Yeah.
You know,
I actually think they check for your phone before you even like get in the door.
I know, and I'll give them a dummy phone.
Yeah.
And then I'll hide my other phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to work with me one-on-one, the Change Project is a phenomenal program. It's really cool what we've built, and by we I mean Maddie and I. It's just our thing, and you know, you get a custom training program, you know, nutrition targets, habits, and 12 weeks of education. That's like seriously really good stuff. We spent a lot of time on that.
Yeah.
Okay. If you love this episode, I don't know, just like DM me if this was the right, you know. You can screenshot sharing your story, but people are kind of like shy about sharing stuff on your story, which I totally get. That's fine.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody's chronically online like me, which is like, I'm happy. I'm literally happy for you. This is the weirdest outro ever. You're like, I thought it ended 4 minutes ago.
I think the whole episode
was a little strange. The whole episode was a little strange, but I hope, because I had more fun with this one than I have in a long time.
I'm happy to hear that. It really sucked for me personally. If you were like,
yeah, that sucked.
Last week was better.
Yeah, I like doing it solo.
Yeah. If you never ever added this to my calendar again, I would know that it did not go that well.
Yeah, one of my buddies offered to like do this with me, so I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm just gonna do it with him from now on.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, he might have to come on for an episode or two, because like he would be fun.
He would be fun. He's
not super into fitness. He's not super into nutrition, but he's helping me build the coaching or the client management software for coaches.
Yeah. I also think it's kind of a fun perspective to have people who like
I agree.
aren't super into.
Yeah, and actually we do have a long list of guests that I am planning on bringing on, so I'm really excited to start doing that. I just wanted to get a little bit more into the routine of it. Anyway, yeah, maybe shoot me a DM if you really like this episode. I already said that, and yeah, if you want to screenshot on your Instagram and share it on your Instagram story, feel free. We'd really appreciate it. Okay, that's it. Take care, everybody.